What up? I'm Ben Freeman from freeman-pedia.com, and today is SAQs Day. This is where I take some of the released AP World History SAQs and break them down with you with a few tips and tricks along the way. Today we got the 2022 AP World History Modern exam, and let's face it, it's the GOAT. There are other contenders, 2017, 2019, blah, blah, blah. 2022 is the best one. If you're looking to study stuff, go, plus it's the most recent. I'm here in 2022 right now. It's the most recent one, so go back and look at that one if you're looking at SAQs, LEQs, DBQs, a great DBQ. So that's probably your best place to start once your teacher's like done with all this. And it gets closer to the end if you want like, oh, what's it gonna look like? It's probably gonna, hopefully it looks like this one, it's a good one. So let's hit up SAQ 3. See how they give you an option? You didn't have to write this one in 2022. You could have very easily gone and done the Green Revolution question, but that's a contemporary period question, so we're gonna come back to that in the weeks ahead on a future SAQs Day. All right, let's focus the lens, see what they want from us. We got 2 identifies and 1 explain. Not great, not terrible, we'll go with it. We've got a technological development, a transfer of crops, and a way that the transfer of crops affected the environment. Write that on there, people. Circle it like, I need this, I need this, I need this, right? That's what I need to do. So when you glance back at it, when you write A and then you're like, you look up, you're like, okay, that's this one, okay, B, that's that one, C, that's that one. You need to do that. You need to make this test as doable as possible because your time, these are 14 minutes each. So that gives you about, what is that, 4 minutes for A, 4 minutes, a little more for B, 4 minutes, a little more for C. This one doesn't have a stimulus, but 2 of them will. So with those 2, you're gonna have to read something or look at an image and break it down. So time moves on these. You can't take all day. So make sure you know what you're writing and don't write some long thing that's wrong. Butcher these things, write them up, use a pen or pencil or whatever you have. So let's check the stimulus. JK, there is no stimulus. On question 3 and question 4, there will be no stimulus. You'll have a choice between 3 and 4, but both 3 and 4, and you can see it here, both 3 and 4 don't have a stimulus. There is nothing to see here. All right, so we focus the lens, right? We read A, B, and C. We know what we're looking for. We looked at the stimuli, which doesn't exist, and now we need to answer the prompt. Look at A. This was the easiest point on the entire 2022 exam. Not everything is crazy college level, like break down the intricacies of it. No. This point, this was the point. This is the one that I think if I was taking this, as I was reading 3 and 4 and choosing between 3 and 4, I would have looked at 3 and said, boop, this is the one, because this is the easiest point. It's just easy. Here, look. Identify one technological development that directly contributed to the Columbian Exchange. Come on. Do you know any technological development that Columbus would have used? Or any of those crazy, murderous conquistador types would have used? Do you know any one thing? Can you identify it? Can you name it? Do you know a name of it? Then you're good to go. I'm terribly partial to flouts. I almost bought a flout a few years ago. Not really, but on my illustrative examples video, I almost did. So, that's a perfect one, right? Compass, astrolabe, whatever, right? Star charts. Like any of that stuff's gonna get you the point. For B, identify a way the transfer of crops and animals in the Columbian Exchange benefited the people. So my go-to here would have been all of the caloric benefits of the crops from the Americas to Afro-Eurasia. Corn alone was huge, but any of the crops on this chart would have gotten you the point here. I always like to say in class, you know, more food, more calories equals more people. People today count calories. You used to count calories in the past, like I don't have enough, and now people have too many. Yep, any of that stuff would have been good here. Now you could have also gone the other way and wrote about how horses and cows make farming and ranching way more efficient than anything that was going on in the Americas pre-1492. I don't know if you've ever met a llama, but they're not very helpful. So identifying either of those things would have been golden, would have got you that point. Letter C. The College Board loves an environmental question. This isn't explained, so you can't just be like, oh, trees. Like you have to explain what you're talking about. You need to explain how it affected the environment. So there's a couple of quick ones that you could have done here. You could have said something like an invasive species like the rats coming over. Like not everything in the Columbian Exchange, smallpox, was a good thing, right? So there were animals that were the same way, rats and rabbits come over, they'd eat everything. So that's not a good thing for the environment. They wreak havoc on an unchecked ecosystem. Or you could have gone with all of the negatives that come with the encomienda, plantation, cash crop, farming, not just like immediately like overuse of the soil, but specifically limiting biodiversity in there. Any of that stuff you get into, that's gonna be golden right there. Oh, here's a quick AP World History Modern tip. know the Columbian Exchange inside and out. There's gonna be a Columbian Exchange question on the exam. There just is. Whether it's gonna be SAQ or LAQ or DBQ, I don't know if it's gonna be that high level, but you'll have something on there. That's one of the things you need to know is the Columbian Exchange. So you need to know that inside and out. A couple things that went one way, a couple things that went the other way, and kind of the effects of both on either side. If you can kind of encapsulate that into the Columbian Exchange and have that just base knowledge in your brain when you go in, because it's a pretty big idea. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not like, well, how does the printing press work? Like, it's this major world, it's one of the most important events of all time. Like, if you had to name the 5 most important things that ever happened on the planet, the Columbian Exchange is one of those things. It's that level. So don't just be like, oh, it's a Columbian Exchange question. There's going to be a Columbian Exchange question. Make sure you know the Columbian Exchange. It's as big a deal as Industrial Revolution or Mongols. Like, it's bigger. It's bigger than those things. It's probably bigger than those things. Maybe not the Industrial Revolution. I don't want to argue that here. All right, that's the 2022 Columbian Exchange SAQ. Next week, let's go pre-pandemic, back to the 2019 exam. So I'll see you next SAQs Day for a look at the conflict between nomadic and sedentary civilizations.